What's good, y'all? It's your boy Jack. Got another vid worth talking about. A positive message, too. Self-awareness. We're going to talk about some self-awareness. Why is it so impactful to have and to understand for yourself? Understanding who you are and what you bring to the table for anything that you sit here and set your mind to. What you bring to the table for it. If you understand what you bring to the table for, what you bring to the table, you understand yourself in some kind of capacity. You understand something about yourself to sit here and understand what you bring. But self-awareness, what about it? Why is it so detrimental? Why is it necessary? Well, one, it's necessary because you would sit here and fall for whatever. If you're not self-aware, if you don't know who you really are, that could cause harm to you, harm to others. Many scenarios and situations that can cook up and pop up when you're not truly self-aware of yourself. Things become a lot difficult. Things become harder to understand, harder to get across to people. Because you're not privy to the things that makes you you. You're just going off of whatever it is that you think is the right way instead of considering yourself first. And you understand? But self-awareness and how we sit here and go about it on a daily. How can you sit here and see self-aware? So how can you know a self-aware individual? How would you know? Me, I go for conversation. I go for talking and seeing that person's point of view, how they go about the conversation, seeing their passions, where their emotions go towards, and how they sit here and may present themselves when it comes to dialogue and communicating. Because I say this, when it comes to communicating and self-awareness, one of the traits that I sit here and take is like, I would want my point to get across. So I would have to be understanding to another person to let their points be able to get across. So I'm understanding of me and understanding how valuable information is and how it is to sit here and take information and what it could do. I'm aware that for myself, for me to sit here and learn and process and take into possibly my day-to-day life after. So I'm aware of that. So I will sit here and will like the same respect when it comes to communicating and be reciprocated, from anybody that I'd sit here and talk to. It's only right. And with stuff like that can sit here and build stronger connections, relationships, resolutions for problems and things like that, whatever it is out here that needs to be, that needs to be connected with any kind of way, is able to sit there and is able to do what it does. Put it that way. Is able to get through, because of the self-awareness and understandings of yourself. That's how I sit here and see it. That may have been like a drag, but you know. But that's how I sit here and see it. That's how one of the ways I transfer my self-awareness to connect with other people. Is understanding basically respect and how to go about an individual to get the proper information. But self-awareness can sometimes, can be a little extreme. It can be a little extreme, from fashion, expressing yourself, opinions, talking, tweeting, all that. Putting yourself out there. A person could be self-aware and fully aware. And and take on all repercussions that come with that. Not saying it's physical or anything. It could be whatever. Financial, could be whatever. But being an extreme self-aware individual, it has its positives and negatives. It does. But sometimes the negative can have a way stronger effect on positive, because of the other conditions that we sit here and live in. The conditions. And how things are being broadcasted to us from, it don't have to be now. It stems, it's a long line of it. But just a lot of negativity, a lot of negative aspects out here that plays a role in a lot of self-aware decisions out here. But it can have its extremes. Another scenario. Now, me, being a conversation individual that I know I am, I can sit here and have a conversation. But if the other person, I may sit here and come across that's not as self-aware, that don't think like, hey, to get points across, I got to be able to hear this person's point so I can be able to get my point. You understand? So with that, imagine a person that's to the extreme where they not even considering, may even think that they know what an individual may be talking about or going through or bringing to the table, because they just so overly self-aware with themselves that things outside of themselves don't really get viewed the same way. It don't get the same type of reciprocation when it comes to overseeing your self-awareness, overdoing it. It can have its bads in situations like that. Sitting here trying to come across a way or try to be more informational becomes difficult, because you so in tune just with yourself and not understanding how to go about or just deal with other matters and other people outside of yourselves. It's a tricky thing. And when you got a negative environment, basically, everything is so just intense and sensitive and stuff like that. yeah, it makes it difficult because you may sit here and say something. The person that's maybe self-aware, you may say something that another individual might take another way. Instead of sitting here and being an understanding individual can be able to take it and see where you're coming from instead of possibly reacting, possibly just going bonkers. It's like it's just so many things that can sit here and spiral out of control when self-awareness is either being overdue or it's not really there. I believe it has a lot of negative traits when it comes to that, off of just my experience of sitting here dealing and talking and trying to communicate and connect with people. Truly started to sit here and see the self-awareness inside individuals is not how it should. Certain things that may be said and you just take it and be like, man, maybe to you, maybe to me, maybe to an individual, it may be wow. But to someone else, it may be, yeah, this is it, And it's a form of self-awareness. But it's the ones that sit here and not mindful of the others that sit here and walk amongst each other, this world, and trying to basically doing what everybody out here doing, trying to live and survive. So I don't know. My message is to sit here and truly understand the self-awareness, the self-value, the just everything that comes with self, so you can sit here and become way better at a lot of things. Be able to do a lot more for yourself, for your people, your family, your loved ones, your country, whoever. You'll be able to sit here and do it when you got a strong, self-aware system that you develop with yourself. Understanding your trauma, mental health, and just so many things. And we just talking about just the individual. Because that individual can sit here and step out and make and affect others, depending on how, the message is with they self and with their self-awareness. You feel me? But yo, I'm gonna holler at y'all. It's a good little piece, I believe. Check me out though. Holler at me.